Alright, everybody. I decided to switch it up a little bit today. Today I'm going to be showing you the top 50-ish anime on my anime list, which I have watched. All of these anime I have watched all the way through. And yeah, I'm just going to be basically rating them from on a scale of 1 to 8. 1 being masterpiece, which let's just get something out of the way right now. Let's go ahead and there we go. All right. Attack on Titan is the only masterpiece in this list. So, anything great, which, great in my opinion means, wow, that was amazing, but it didn't hit as good as Attack on Titan did. That's basically what great means. And then, I don't think there will be any utter failures on this list. Maybe one, but there will definitely be a lot of almost dropped or should have dropped watching this show on this list. So, let's go ahead and get on. Alright. The first anime I ever watched was Naruto. So, let's rate that. I know Naruto had a lot of filler sometimes, but for the most part, I would say that's a good show. That's a good show right there. It's above average. That's what it is. It's above average. So, all right. And now, the second show I've ever watched. I'm gonna try to go chronologically. There's a couple shows I watched, like in middle school, which were the introducers to anime. I'm trying to find. Let's see here. Yeah, Full Metal Alchemist. That goes into great. That's a great anime. Before I watched Attack on Titan, it was my favorite. Another really good anime right off the bat is one of the only isekai that I mess with. Like, isekai as a genre is just so many tropes. This one I like so much just because I can relate to the character, and yeah, just a really great storyline. Let's see here. Speaking of isekai, the first isekai I watched was Kenjo no Mago, and the only reason I put it in the top 50 was because I thought it was good, but as I watched more and more shows, I realized it was more average. So, alright, moving on. We got a classic, which has not finished yet. We got My Hero. The fourth season was probably the best. Either third or fourth, whichever one this is of. It's where the little girl, basically that whole scene of where Deku was fighting, and Ari just kept healing him. This is a very good show. It's not on par with the greats, but it can be up there. And here's Shippuden. Shippuden definitely isn't a great. It's got to be 2 steps above the original series, though, because it's better than the original series, but then also has the payoff of the original series. And in this top 50, I don't have any anime like the second season. The only exception would be Naruto, because it's just so long, and it's just a different beast Shippuden is. All right, next one we got. Let's do one that was kind of overhyped in my opinion. Demon Slayer. I would say it's on par with Naruto. People are saying it's like the best anime ever. Don't agree. I would say a lot of maybe people who are like in their teens, like 16, 17, 15-year-olds go goo goo gaga for that. Like, I can understand why that got really popular, but it was good. It was good. It was not, later in the series it kind of like was like a tournament arc between the different dudes who came after them. Like, let's just say it was a good show. Next, I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this, but Neon Genesis. I almost dropped Neon Genesis Evangelion. The action scenes were fire, but the ending, yeah, I know. I had to watch a YouTube video on how to interpret the ending or how to understand it, but those kinds of shows where you actually have to like rewatch it or re-rewatch it to kind of understand the characters And Shinji was just so whiny in the whole show. So yeah, I almost dropped watching that show. I'm surprised I even watched the movie. The movie was even worse. Sorry, but I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that. Next, Death Note. Death Note has got to be up there with the greats. Maybe not as high. Maybe not as high as Full Metal Alchemist, but it's definitely a solid 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10. It's just I got to be one step below. There were some parts of it like the whole arc where L died, and then his whatever the two other dudes who were smart were tracking Light down, and yeah, the build up to the ending was what got it that good. The ending could have hit better. It would have been a 9 or a 10 out of 10 if the ending hit different. But I still like the show. I would still rewatch it. My friends all like that show. Next, we kind of have, let's see, Darling in the Franxx. It's basically just Evangelion, just better. So I'd have to put it on par with Naruto. I personally liked it better than Evangelion. The characters are better. There wasn't any annoying characters. And Zero Two is just... who doesn't like Zero Two? She's, awesome. Alright. We got Haikyuu. Let's see. As one of the few sports anime that I actually enjoyed, I would put it good. It's on par with Naruto and Demon Slayer. It just as not just the first season, but as a whole. Like the season where it's literally just 10 episodes and it's one game. You would think that would be boring. No. I don't know how they did it, but they filled those 10 episodes with just nail biting. You knew they were probably gonna win, but it was just so close, and it was a lot of... I liked watching that season. That's all I remember. And then making me, someone who's only played football or soccer, interested in volleyball. That just takes talent. The music, the the whole explaining the sport if nobody knows what volleyball is, as they're playing. It's just really cool. Alright, next up we got The Promised Neverland. I would say it's good. It would have been... I'm judging it as a whole series. Now I know the second season totally got screwed up. They changed the whole second season. It was supposed to be really good if they adapted it the manga way. They just screwed it up, and I'm probably going to read the manga because 3 episodes in, I just couldn't stand it. It was disgusting how they ruined the story. But if I was judging on the first season alone, I would definitely give it a very good or a great, just because that whole last scene where they're escaping, so great, and all the twists and turns, and the first episode is just a great hook and grabs you into the story. Next is one I think Coral would like. It's called Horimiya. I would say it's average. It's not as good as these shows, but it's still entertaining. It's like a slice of life kind of romance-ish. I thoroughly enjoyed watching that. Next, we got something that's not as popular, but I would definitely put it in the average section, is Somali and the Tree Spirit. I think that's what it's called. Anyway, great story. Basically, in a world where humans are an endangered species, but all the monsters like eating humans. But then this dude helps the human out. It's kind of like a wholesome another dimension world anime. I really like that one. Kill la Kill. I almost dropped watching that. I was not a fan of the transforming scenes and then the outfits, but the action and then the comedy with that one girl. I don't remember her name. It's been so long since I watched the show. It was definitely a good concept. The ending was good. I did like the ending. All right, well, we might as well finish off the Naruto series with Boruto. I would have to say below average. Almost dropped this watching the show. I'm only watching that show because, it has the Naruto characters in it. They spent like 50 or so episodes getting us to know like all the new characters, and then after that we never see them like again, and it's focused on the Momoshiki, like the alien dudes who like Naruto and Sasuke, their power levels are the only ones are able to compare. I like the show. I'm waiting for the really epic fights, but none of them happen yet. So yeah, a lot of mystery. But if it finishes strong, it might go up in my book. But for now, it's not. I wouldn't. Definitely would not watch it if I hadn't watched Naruto and Shippuden. Next is another one I'm watching currently. It's called To Your Eternity. I would have to say it's very good. It is not on par with these guys, but it is a good show. And if it keeps going the way it's going, and then like ups it might be like a contender for my top 5. Like, it has a really good premise, and the first season is only like the couple of books, so it's definitely going to have another 1 or 2 seasons. And it's airing right now. Definitely like where it's going so far. Let's go ahead and knock out a couple movies. The Sound of Voice. It's one of my favorite movies. It's probably in my top 3 movies of all time. Just because, I like sad movies. I'm not afraid to say that. I love feeling that emotion of like the characters. I can also bond with the some of the characters, like the high school life, the bullying aspect, and then the how the guy changed his life. I really like that. This one I watched a couple of days ago. It's called Jose, the Tiger, and the Fish. I'm just a sucker for romance, feel-good stories. It's not as good as that. It's not as good as that movie, so I'm gonna have to drop it down a notch. But it's still a really good movie. It's only in English sub. You gotta read the subtitles, but I still liked it. I take back what I said earlier. There might be more than one utter failure in this list. Let's just go ahead and knock them both out right now. It's gotta be a Comic Kill, and then Japan Sinks 2020. Don't watch those shows. I'm just gonna don't. The beginning of Japan Sinks 2020, it was good, but then they started with that whole camp area where they were smoking weed, and like the grandpa was like delusional of that dude being his child. Doesn't do it for me. And then the ending of this anime, sorry, but people are like saying it's like one of the greats. I'm here thinking, what are you talking about? It's trash. All right. Now that we got those out of the way, let's go back to a good anime. We got Violet Evergarden. That's in my top 10. I love that show. Like the art and the story and the history, like that's real history of what happened, and not the character per se that is the main character, but people actually did that. And that's where the term dolls came from. Yeah, it was people in war who can't write. They hire someone to write letters back for them, and I just really liked especially the story about that grandmother who was going to die, but then she had someone write dozens of letters so she could receive one on her birthday every year. I was crying when like all that was happening. It was so great. That might have been in an extra movie or something, but it's still part of the series. Let's see, I think... Yeah, this was Can I Eat Your Pancreas? Let me repeat that. This movie is named Can I Eat Your Pancreas? I gotta put it. It's definitely pushing up on this top. It's really, really good. There we go. I'm kind of like numbering them like of importance also like on the lines. So yeah, Naruto's good, but not as good as this movie. All right. Next one. Made in Abyss. I loved Made in Abyss. It was a very good show. Can't wait for season 2. That's really all I got to say. One Punch Man. That was one of the first anime I watched, not in English. And I watching it back in English, it's not as good. I gotta put it at very good. I just love that show. You know, season 1 was the best season. Yeah. Kenjo no Mago. Or no, am I saying the wrong thing? Yeah, no, this is another isekai. I forget what it's called. Here, let me look it up real quick. Alright, it's called Mushoku Tensei. I really like the concept. Not a whole fan of like the tropes of like, you know, all isekai. You got to have those with any isekai, but I definitely like the world building and the whole not I don't really like the origination story of the main character. Kind of disgusting, but after that it's great. I would say it's average. The ending was kind of weird. They just ended the season in a different country. Hunter x Hunter. One of the greats for sure. Actually, because of the Chimera Ant arc and how long and drawn out it was, and the fact that it ended on a good note, but it didn't answer a lot of questions. Like, did Kurapika, you know, we saw Kurapika accomplish one of his goals, but then we don't see what Leorio does, or if what Kila was up to. So it's very good for me. Not great, but it definitely enjoyed the first 100 or so episodes. Jujutsu Kaisen. This was the hype of all this year. I would have to say it's very good. It's not one of these greats, but it's very good. That's all I gotta say. And if it keeps doing this well, and it maybe kicks up a notch, it might make it in my top 10. Sword Art Online. There's so many ups and downs in this show. I just gotta put it in average. It used to be my favorite show. I'm sad to say. Like, people were saying, "Don't watch it. It's bad." So I watched it because I wanted to see if it was bad or not. The first season, banger. Maybe a couple things were wrong. Second season, what the heck? Third season, what the heck? Fourth season, okay, it's getting a little bit better. And then fifth season is like not good or bad. It's just confusing. And then they end it, and then it's like. Anyway, it's an average show if you watch the whole thing. All right, Cowboy Bebop. It is a good show. It is a good show. It's one of those shows where it's like it's an oldie but a goodie, and it's definitely better than all these shows. I would definitely rewatch. It has some of the best music. Like the jazz is just great. Yuri on Ice. Not a big fan of that kind of show, but after watching it, I was like, it's kind of cool, Never thought watching people make up ice skating routines would be fun, but I like the vibe. Not the kiss scene, but everything else was good. Tokyo Ghoul. Sorry, but yeah, I almost dropped that show. Death Parade. Definitely a very good show. It makes you think, and it's just 12 episodes of. It was just a good ride. I like that show. Steins Gate. We got another great. One of the greats, Steins Gate. I can't wait for the other alternate timeline of when he tries to go back and find one of the other friend they couldn't save in the double timeline. You know, the Steins Gate timeline. It makes time travel like it's one of the best time travel concepts I've ever watched in any medium. Like Doctor Who, this is way better than Doctor Who. Like just the eeriness of the fact that the butterfly effect is a real thing. If time travel was real, and like you can't always have the perfect timeline, and if you do, it's gonna be anyway. I just really like the show. I rewatched it and then watched the second season, and it was way better. The Great Pretender. It's average. I'm sorry, but the heists were amazing to see how they did the heist. It just didn't have that umph that other shows have. The music intro and outro were good, but the music in the show could have used a little bit better. Ping Pong the animation. It's I people like have it in their top couple of shows. It just wasn't my fancy. It was a good show. I'll put it in good. It was a good show. It doesn't get any higher than that. I would say, let's see, yeah. Promised Neverland. Because of the second season, it's kind of the last in this row. Darling and the couple bebops up here. Alright. Your Lie in April. Another sad one to watch in April every year. I just gotta put an average. A couple of these I'm just gonna put an average because I can't really remember anything but the characters and the basic plot. Now Durarara, I don't know how to say that. It's like Durarara, like that's the name. It's a good show. It's like about gang warfare and like these different people with abilities. It's really great. Gurren Lagann. I really liked it. A friend recommended it to me. I really enjoyed the ride. It's above average. It's good. The Tatami Galaxy. I really love the art style of this, and no matter how crazy it was a really good show. I liked it. Not as good as these shows, but in case you can't see it there. All right, K-On! I almost dropped watching that. I'm not really. I like slice of life, but there's got to be something going on other than just girls having tea parties and like practicing the guitar and having a band. The first season was good. After that, I couldn't really handle it, so I dropped the second season. But since I watched the first, I'll put it in almost dropped. The Bookworm, the isekai about the bookworm, the girl who likes books. It was good. Gotta put it in good. Yep. Erased was very good. I really enjoyed that show. Yeah, I really enjoyed that show. Akira. Oh man, I shouldn't have watched that movie. People were saying like that's the craziest movie you're gonna see. I mean, like it's borderline rated R. I think it might have been. I don't know. I wouldn't recommend anyone to watch it who was like not born past my generation. I don't know. It's an acquired taste, I guess. The all the blood and like the craziness at the end. All right, we got Princess Mononoke. I really like this movie. It was a good movie about like nature and how it takes revenge on people who are advancing. I really like that aspect. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I got a place in my heart for JoJo. I love me some JoJo. That's gotta be great. It's gotta be, especially the fourth season. The fourth season is my favorite season. I can't wait for Jolene Part 6. I've heard some good things about that part. People say it's their favorite part. Anohana, another really sad show. It was the first sad show I watched, but there are sadder shows. So I guess I'll put it in an average. It was good, not as good as, let's see here, this movie, and then this movie and that movie. I love that movie. Vinland Saga. This one had some history in it. This one had like a different perspective on the Vikings. I would say it's good. The first 12 episodes, great story building or world building and like advancement of the plot. After that, it kind of got weird with the whole king and like overtaking the crown and like the different countries they were marching in the snow for so long. I don't know. It would have been higher if it kept the ball rolling as fast as it did in the first couple episodes. Fate Zero. I'm not big on the Fate franchise, but Fate Zero, I would gotta say, is very good. Very good. I would say I would argue it's the best Fate movie. I've watched all the Heaven's Fields movies. I just thought this one was, the origin behind Saber. I just like that one better, and the animation's like flawless. I forgot what this anime was called. I almost dropped that. I'm not even gonna bother looking up the name because I don't really like it. Now, Log Horizon on the other hand, totally different perspective on the isekai genre. Gotta say, it's a very good. It like instead of focusing on exploration, it's just in the beginning they tell you, okay, you're in Japan, that's it, and then they focus on like the problems of a bunch of people's being sent to another world. They had to like build up the economy. It was really cool. Brand New Animal, BNA. It's got to go on average. The only reason I watched it was because it was on Netflix and it looked kind of cool. Now it was cool, but the storyline was predictable. Yeah, so Parasite. Parasite was probably one of the first 10 anime I watched. I gotta put it either high on very good or give it a great. Man, I gotta give it a great. That's one of the greats right there. I really like that show, and I rewatched it, and I still am wondering why they haven't made a season 2 because they kind of left it open-ended. Anyway, Dr. Stone. The first season was really good. The second season, I actually haven't watched the second season, so I can't really be talking about it, but I've watched one episode. I'm probably going to watch the rest. For now, it's a good. It's above average for sure. I really like the aspect of, like, it teaches you different survival techniques. Now, the last one is Assassination Classroom. I thoroughly enjoyed this. It's not enough to be a very good, though. I'd have to put it before Pong. And yeah, let me this is my list. The two shows I probably shouldn't have watched are these two. I did not like the Akira movie, and yeah, Attack on Titan's in the top. It's where it belongs. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed my take on all the different shows I've watched. I didn't include all the shows I've watched, but this is definitely like 80% of it. And keep in mind, I'm only putting, Haikyuu has 4 seasons. There's only one picture for Haikyuu. Naruto has 220 episodes, and then Naruto Shippuden has 500 episodes. And then Boruto is probably gonna have upwards of 300. But yeah, in Sword Art, there's a lot of seasons. I lost track. And then of course Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan is gonna be the perfect length, like under 100 episodes with that much story. Great. And the manga is amazing. The manga is amazing. So if they land the ending, if Mappa lands the ending, it will go down as the most famous piece of media ever created. Like, not just anime, like any story, anywhere. And that's not like an opinion. That's a fact. All right. All right. See y'all later.